First of all, I offer my sustained Vrindavana to spend my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudeva, Asmadhiya Paramarad Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupada, Ashtotara Satasvi, Rupanugat Devaya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of Param Pujapad Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, to Srila Prabhupada, to my Param Gurudev, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Prabhupada. And finally, I offer my pranam to the Sama Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Vanchaka Padurvasya, Rupa Siddhubhyavacha, Pudityanam Prananebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo.
Shri Gurudeva ki jai.
Shri Gurudeva ki jai.
By the causeless mercy of Sri Gauranga Gauranga, we are hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 13, describing pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates at Rath Yatra festival. Lord Jagannath Dev has become seated upon his chariot. Millions of devotees are there, and they began to pull the chariot of Lord Jagannath. There were 7 Sankirtan groups, 4 in front, 1 on each side, and 1 behind. And Lord Jagannath Jagannath himself was astonished to see this beautiful Sankirtan. Now we've come to the point where Mahaprabhu himself wanted to dance for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath. So first, he came in front of Lord Jagannath with folded hands, and the 7 groups disbanded and all became one group around Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu began to offer several prayers. So this day we began to discuss. Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Janmahado Yadu Barbarika Swair Dobirasanna Dharmam Stiritara Vidinagana Suspita Shimukena Vajapura Banitanam Vadayan Kamadevam Vrajapura Banitanam Vadayan Kamadevam. Jayati Jananivaso. Yesterday we discussed 3 main meanings. First, Jana Nivas, everything is living, resting within him. Secondly, he is Paramatma. So he is residing within everyone. So this is the interpretation from Aishwarya Gata Vichar, opulence. And from Madhurya Gata Vichar, then Jana Nivas means Nija Jana Nivas. He lives not as the biggest form or the smallest form, but middle-sized form, as Krishna in Vraja, living with his own family and villages there. Devaki Janmavado. And it is said that he is the son of Devaki. So yesterday we described the Abhiman. That means the identity and the pride of the residents of Mathura. They think, oh, Krishna is a Mathura-Vasi like us. But in Braja, in Gokul, all the Brajavasis think, oh, Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj, he is our prince. And how Madhya Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj and Brajavasis, they're so unlimitedly fortunate because they could relish Sri Krishna's Balya Leela, Bhavganda Leela and Kishore Leela. Whereas in Mathura, they missed everything and he was grown by the time he arrived in Mathura. So they missed all those pastimes. Now come to the second line. Yadu is the name of the Yadu dynasty. Sri Krishna has so many names related to that. He is called Yadubara, the best of the Yadu dynasty. Sometimes he's called Yadunath or Yadunandan. And generally, devotees associate this name Yadu, Yadava, with his pastimes in Mathura and Dwarka. But you should know that in the dynasty of Yadu Maharaj, there was a king named Devameda. Devameda had a wife who was a Kshatriya, and he also had a wife who was a Vaishya, a Gopi. From his wife who was a Kshatriya, Devameda had a son, and his name was Surasen. And Surasen's son was Vasudev Maharaj. And then the Mathura Basis think Krishna is the son of Vasudev Maharaj. So Krishna is Yadunandan in the Yadu dynasty. But Devameda Maharaj, he had one wife who was a Vaishya, and from her she had a son, and it was Parjanya Maharaj. Parjanya Maharaj's son was Nanda Maharaj, and Nanda Maharaj's son is Krishna. So, by the Kshatriya dynasty, people can say Krishna is Yadunandan, but Yadunandan can also be Krishna in Braja through the dynasty of his grandfather Parjanya Maharaj. So, Parishat. Parishat means a council. So it can mean like the parliament house, or it can mean the council, member of the council. So both are applicable here. We see that when Sri Krishna was in Dwarka, he made the Dwarka so glorious. Because in the Swargalok, the heavenly planets, there was the pride of the Swargalok, the Sudharma assembly house, Sudharma Sabha. And also the Parijat tree. So these are the status symbols of heaven. Just like today, if someone has a Lamborghini, this is their status symbol, because everyone does not have. Only a few people can. So in the same way, the Parijat flowers of heaven, these are the status symbol of heaven. If everyone will have a Parijat trees, or the Parijat trees will be on earth, then the Gaurav, the glory of heaven will be diminished. This is Indra's good. So Indra even had a battle with Krishna to stop him from taking the Parijat tree. But anyway, Sri Krishna defeated Indra and he took the Parijata tree and planted it. He had it planted in the garden of Satyabhama in Dwarka, and he bought the Sutarma Sabha, the assembly house, from heaven, and it became the parliament of Dwarka. So what is amazing is Krishna, he goes every day to the Sudharma assembly house. But he's not the chairman of the assembly. He's not the king of Dwarka. Huh? He is one prince. Who is the king? Ugrasena Maharaj. Ugrasena Maharaj. So, Sri Krishna in Dwarka, he is living with his 16,108 queens in 16,108 palaces. And every morning when he's going to dutifully do his responsibilities as a Kshatriya by meeting in the political assembly, then Krishna sets out in the morning from the palace of Rukmini, but he also sets out from the palace of Satyabhama, Nagnajiti, Mitravinda, Jambavati, Lakshmana. 16,108 forms of Krishna set out, and they all go, and when all these forms get to the gate of the Sudharma assembly house, they become one, and then he goes down the path and into the Sudharma assembly. And there, he's a prince, he's a citizen, ruled over by Ugrasena Maharaj. So, perhaps you know that when Kamsa Maharaj was alive, he put Ugrasena Maharaj in prison. So Rupa Goswami says, Kim Purasham. Oh, what kind of strength does Ugrasena Maharaj have? He's taken off the throne and put in jail, and his son Kamsa has usurped his position. It's very embarrassing for a Kshatriya. And more embarrassing, Kamsa Maharaj is not even his son. Because Ugrasena, his wife Padmavati, she was raped by a demon named Drumildanava. And the result was Kamsa. So Kamsa is not even the son of Ugrasena. But anyway, Kamsa Maharaj is a terrible demon. He terrorized everyone and put his father in jail. And he put Vasudeva and Devaki in jail also. But when Akrura came to Vrindavana and he asked Krishna, please come to Mathura and save the Yadus, Kamsa Maharaj is torturing them. So then Krishna, he went to Mathura and he killed Kamsa Maharaj. And everyone, it was in a big arena. They all saw, this Krishna must be the 8th child of Devaki. Because on the day of Devaki's wedding, a voice in the sky, Akashvani said, Asya stay astamo gavo, hanto yam bahase buddha. Hey Kamsa Maharaj, you fool, you don't know that the 8th pregnancy of Devaki, when she gives birth, that person will kill you. So when Krishna, in front of thousands of people, killed Kamsa Maharaj, then everyone knows, the prophecy has come true. He came from Gokul, but he must be the son of Devaki. So then everyone surrounded Krishna, you're the son of Devaki, you have to stay here, you can't go back to Gokul. You can't dress like a cowherd boy anymore, you have to dress like a Kshatriya. No more cow grazing for you. Now you have to practice with weapons and be a warrior prince. Because Sri Krishna had killed the reigning king Kamsa Maharaj, so then he had the right actually for himself. Now he can be the king. But Sri Krishna never took that position. If the king is killed, then there has to be a coronation for the new king. So Sri Krishna came to Ugrasena, took Ugrasena Maharaj out of the jail, sat him on the throne and gave him the Raj Tilak. And coronated Ugrasena Maharaj, that again he is the king. And Krishna bowed down to Ugrasena Maharaj, oh, your majesty, I am your very loyal citizen. So just see how humble Krishna is. He is not only the king of Mathura, he is God. He is Swayam Bhagavan. He is the Lord of all existence. But he has given the right tilak to Ugrasena Maharaj and bowed down to him. I am your citizen. You can order me. Another reason why Sri Krishna did not accept the throne to be the king of the Yadus, because he was thinking, I don't want to stay here permanently. I want to go back to Vrindavana. If I take the throne and become the king, I'll not be able to leave. So, Yadu Bara Parishat. Sri Krishna is the council member in the parliament of the Sudharma assembly house. Swar Durbir Asyan Adharma. Asyan means he destroys what? He removes adharma, all irreligion and all irreligious persons. How? Swar Durbir. Swar means by his own. Durbir means by his arms. Here, the word Durbir in Sanskrit is in the Bahuvachanam, in the plural. Generally, we would say in Sanskrit Durbhyam, with the two arms. But here, Durbir means by more than two arms. So one meaning is that sometimes when Sri Krishna is fighting with the demons, like when he fought with Banasur, or when he fought with Vidurata and the Dantavakra, sometimes Sri Krishna would manifest a four-armed form. And sometimes for his Leela, he would manifest four arms. For example, you know that Ashwatthama, he killed the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi. So at that time, Arjuna and Krishna, they set off, and Arjuna captured the Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya. So when Krishna and Arjuna brought him back, then there was a discussion, what do we do with him now? So Bhimsen said, oh, Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he will do whatever his elder brother says, you order me, I'll kill him. But Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Draupadi, he has committed a great offense to Draupadi, she should decide. So Draupadi, she was suffering because she lost her children. She did not want the mother of Ashwatthama to suffer like she had suffered. She wasn't thinking about taking revenge on him. She was thinking not to give pain to his mother. So there was a disagreement between Draupadi and Bhimsen. Bhimsen wanted to kill, but Draupadi wanted to save him. Krishna was in the middle, and so with 2 arms he held Bhimsen, and with 2 arms he held Draupadi. So sometimes 4 arms were necessary in Dwarka Lila or Mathura Lila. It has another meaning, Yadu Bara Parishat Swar Durbirasya Nadaman. Along with the members of the Yadu dynasty, he's removing the burden of the world. He's removing the adharmic influence by his arms. His arms are his associates. So the bhav which is expressed in these verses, actually Krishna is God to kill the demons and remove dharma. He doesn't have to do anything. God is Satya Sankalpa. Whatever he wants, it becomes true. He can just raise his eyebrow and all the demons are there. Even he doesn't have to raise his eyebrow, he can just think it. So why is he Durbirasyan Adharma, going here and there on his chariot and fighting? Why? To give pleasure to his devotees. All devotees, they see, they're astonished and they glorify him for his pastimes. Or, if we take it that Swar Durbir, by his arms, that means by his associates, is removing the adharmic influence. Who killed Jarasandha? Bhimsen. Because Krishna helped him. They were fighting for so many days. Bhimsen didn't know what to do, he couldn't kill him. So then Sri Krishna knew a secret that Jarasandha was born in 2 parts and he was joined together by one witch named Jara. Sangha means joining, so Jarasandha. He was joined together and he could only be killed by being torn. So Krishna, he took a blade of grass and went like this and split it down the middle to give a signal to Bhimsen. So Bhimsen stood on one foot and pulled the other foot and separated the 2 parts. Who killed Duryodhana? Again Bhimsen. Yes?
With help of Krishna.
With the help of Krishna again. Actually, his mother, Duryodhana's mother, she wanted to make Duryodhana invincible. So she told her son, you should come to me this evening, but you should come completely naked. So though she was not blind, because her husband is blind, she put on a blindfold because she did not want equal rights. She did not want to be superior to the husband, so I will also be blind and so. So because she was so chaste to her husband, she had a lot of Shakti. Because if the wife is very chaste, by her satitva, her chastity, she develops great mystic power. To control her husband without raising her voice. This is a secret that has been lost in Kali. So she thought, if my son will come naked and I take off the blindfold for the first time in many, many years and I look at him, then I will empower him through my eyes and make his body as hard as a thunderbolt. He'll be invincible. So Duryodhana, he was going there and he was naked, he was about to go into the room of his mother. But Sri Krishna knows everything. Sri Krishna just happened to be there. Oh, Duryodhana, where are you going? In this way. First, I'm going to see my mother. Sri Krishna, now you're a grown man. Okay, when you're a little baby, it's okay, but now you're a grown man. So just put a gamsha on at least. So then he put a gamsha covering from the waist to the knee. And then he went in to meet Gandhari. Then Gandhari took off her blindfold and by a glance, but this part of his body was covered. The thighs were covered. So everything became as hard as a thunderbolt and invincible, but his weakness was here. No one knew, except for Krishna. So when Bhimsen was having a club fight, he was smashing Duryodhana and he was breaking his clubs on the body of Duryodhana. He was so strong. So after some time, Krishna made a signal to Bhimsen.
Quindi dopo un po' Krishna gli fa un segnale a Bhimsen sulla gamba così.
So when Duryodhana jumped up, then he smashed his thighs. And he was now completely defeated. He complained, this is against the rules, you cannot hit below the belt. Oh, Sri Krishna said, you were not so interested in the rules when you killed Abhimanyu. What about the rules when you gave the cake with poison in it to Bhimsen when he was a child? What about the rules when the Pandavas stayed in the house of lac and you had it set on fire? So it's too late to bring up the rules now. So Yadu Bara Parishat Swado Virasana Dhanamam. See, Krishna himself is removing all the irreligious persons, but through his arms, that means through his associates. During the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna is so humble. He took the position of chariot driver for Arjuna. Kshatriya never takes the position of the chariot like taxi driver. How can a king be a taxi driver? Uber.
Di guidatore del taxi.
But because Krishna is controlled by the love, when he sees Arjuna, he loves him so much, he just says, oh, I want to serve you. So he is not only driving Arjuna's chariot, he is taking care of Arjuna's horses. Krishna is massaging the legs of Arjuna's horses. So So the battle of Kurukshetra was very ferocious. It lasted for 18 days. So every day, at the end of the day, when the Kshatriya comes back on his chariot to his camp, the chariot driver will get down, and then the Kshatriya will get down from the chariot. On the last day of the battle, when they arrive back in the camp, then Krishna said to Arjuna, oh, you get down first, and go over there. So Arjuna was thinking, why? He has to get down first, why have you? But anyway, he followed Krishna's instruction. So then Arjuna got down off the chariot and went in the distance. Then Sri Krishna stepped off the chariot, and the moment Sri Krishna stepped off the chariot, it exploded. Arjuna was, what happened? Sri Krishna said, as long as I was on the chariot, it was protected. Actually, in this battle, you were hit by so many weapons, so many explosive weapons. But you were not affected because I was on the chariot. That's why I told you get off first, and then when I got off, then all those weapons you were hit with, it was a delayed reaction, then they all went off at the same time. Then Arjuna realized, oh, Krishna saved me. Perhaps you know that before the battle of Kurukshetra, so many soldiers were coming and joining the battle. And some were joining the side of the Pandavas and some were joining the side of the Kauravas. When one very powerful warrior came there. His name was Barbarika, and he was actually the grandson of Bhimsen, so you can imagine how powerful. He was the son of Gatotkacha, who was the son of Bhimsen and Hidimbi. He came there, and he was a very great warrior, and he had received benedictions from Astadevas, from the demigods. He'd received 3 arrows, which made him invincible. So, which side will he fight on? So when Sri Krishna saw that this Barbarika was coming to the battle, then Krishna took the form of a Brahmin. Because Kshatriyas always give charity to Brahmins. So, various warriors, Krishna asked them, how long would it take you to finish this battle by yourself? So they were giving different amounts of time. Like the Dronacharya said, I can finish this in about 24 days. Bhishmadev said, I can finish it by myself in 20 days. Karna said, I can finish everyone by myself in 25 days. Arjuna said, it would take me about 28 days to kill all the enemies by myself. So, Barbarik, he said, I can finish everyone in a minute.
Io riesco a uccidere tutti in un minuto.
On both sides.
Da tutti e 2 lati.
So Krishna came in the form of a Brahmin. He said, oh, I have heard you say that you can finish this battle in 1 minute. How will you do it? He said, oh, for me it's very easy. I have 3 arrows. With my first arrow, I fire it and mark every target that I want to destroy. And with my second arrow, I shoot it and I mark every target that I want to save. And then when I shoot my third arrow, it will destroy all the targets that were marked, and all the ones which were marked to be saved will be untouched. So then, really? Then, show me. And Krishna was standing beneath a pipal tree. Pipal tree has hundreds and thousands of leaves. He said, can you with an arrow pierce all these leaves, join them all together with 1 arrow? He said, yes, I can do it. So then, he took his arrow and he held it to his forehead like this and began to pray, because these arrows work by mantras. And when he closed his eyes to pray, to say the mantras to his arrow, Krishna plucked one of the leaves from the tree and put it on the ground and stepped on it with his foot. So then, he fired the arrow, and first it marked all the leaves. And then, the arrow was floating around above Krishna's foot. And then Krishna, the form of the Brahman, said, why is this arrow floating here? Barbarik says, there must be one of the leaves underneath your foot. Then Krishna thought, oh, these arrows he has from the devotees, they work even without his knowing. Very good technology. So then Krishna removed his foot and he marked that leaf. So then Krishna was very eager to know. He said, so, which side are you going to fight on? He said, well, when I was leaving, my mother asked me the same question. Oh son, there's going to be a big world war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Which side are you fighting on? He said, well, I am a hero, so I like to support the underdog. So, I will take whichever side is the weakest, I'll go on that side. It seems as if, because the Pandavas have 7 Akshahinis, 7 divisions, and the Kauravas have 11 divisions, so it seems like the Pandavas is the weakest army. If you don't count Krishna. So then Krishna said to Barbarik, actually this promise that you have made to your mother is very problematic. Because if you go on the weakest side, now because you're on that side, that means the other side is actually the weakest side now, because you have joined it. So then you'll have to switch to the other side, but then the other side will become the weakest side. So you just see oscillating backwards and forwards from side to side, and everyone will be dead except for you. So this will not work. So then Krishna in the form of the Brahmin, he said, "Oh Barbarik, can you give me some charity?" So Kshatriyas are very proud that they always give. He said, "Yes, whatever you want, I'll give." Sri Krishna said, "Give me your head." But he made the promise. So then Barbarik said, "Oh, because by now he could understand, oh, this Brahmin is not ordinary Brahmin. This is a trick of the Supreme Lord." So he said, "Oh my Lord, I'll give to you my head, but I like fighting very much. I wanted to see this greatest battle. So please, I'll give you my head, but please allow me to see the battle." So then Krishna agreed. He said, "Oh look, there's a hill there with a big tree on the top overlooking the battlefield. I'll put your head in that tree, you'll be able to see everything." And Barbarika, he was true to his promise and he cut off his own head and Krishna put his head in the tree. So then he was there with his popcorn. No, not really. But what I mean to express is, he was there, he just wanted to see this battle. This was his favorite thing to see. So there was a huge battle for 18 days. And almost everyone was killed on all sides, except for the Pandavas and Ashwatthama and Kripacharya and Kritavarma. So, after the battle, then Bhimsen was boasting about how many warriors he killed. Because this is the Kshatriya's spirit, after a big battle, then they go and they have a big feast and they enjoy and they boast to each other about their heroic deeds. So Bhimsen, he was saying, "I killed so many thousands of warriors." Arjuna said, "I killed more than you." No, I killed more than you. And they were arguing over this. So then Krishna said, "Look, if you want to settle this dispute, we can go and ask a neutral person. Barbarika, he saw everything, let's go and ask him." So then Bhimsen, Arjuna and Krishna, they got on the chariots and they went to that hill, to the tree where Barbarika was in the tree. His head. And they came there. "Oh, you tell him, I killed the most people in the battle." No, tell him. Barbarika said, "I saw everything. I saw that Krishna's chakra was going everywhere and killing everyone. You have killed no one. Krishna has done everything." So then they both became homophobic. So this is the meaning here. Yadubara parishat swadurvirasya dharmam. That Krishna, he is Supreme Lord, but playing the role of a prince and serving Ugrasena Maharaj, driving the chariot for Arjuna. And even though he can destroy all the dharma, all the adharma himself, but out of love for his devotees, he's giving the glory to them. He wants Arjuna to be famous, he wants Bhimsen to be famous, he wants Yudhishthira. He's not bothered about his own fame. He wants to give the fame to all of his devotees. Understand? Yeah. Who is this Krishna we are worshipping? He's the nicest person you can ever meet. All his qualities, all his pastimes in Aishwarya and Madhurya. Shukadeva Goswami has put them all in this one verse so you can drink the whole 10th canto. Now, we come to the third line. Though the Vrindavan pastimes were first, before Mathura and Dwarka, but But now the focus is coming to the Vrindavan Lila. So all the power and all the opulence which is there in the first part of the verse, this is not going away, it's increasing. But there's so much sweetness that you cannot see it. Stira means non-moving living entities, like trees and grass and creepers and flowers. Anchara means moving living entities, like birds, like peacocks, like cows and deer. And of course human beings, all moving living entities. Brijana means suffering, obstacles. And Gana means he removes. How does he remove? Susmita Srimukena, by his beautiful smile. You know that the desire to enjoy is an obstacle. The desire to enjoy heavenly pleasures is an obstacle for mukti, liberation. But the desire for liberation is an obstacle in attaining Krishna Prem. So Sri Krishna's beautiful smile is so sweet that if anyone sees it, they spit on liberation. Or just think of the desire for enjoyment, even the desire to be liberated, it becomes disgusting, seeing the beautiful smile of Krishna. So, what to speak of qualified devotees, even the trees and creepers, by his smile, he liberated them even from liberation and gave Prem to everyone. Actually, it's a very confidential secret. But when Sri Krishna came to this world, actually he liberated the entire universe. And then when he disappeared, by his mystic power, he filled it up again with the Shukshma Jivas. So Sri Krishna, by his beautiful smile, he takes away all obstacles and all suffering. Maduram, Maduram, Bapurasya Vibhu, Maduram, Maduram, Badanam, Maduram. Madhu Gandhi Mridu Smritam Etanaho. Maduram, 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 Maduram. Srila Prabhu Thakur, he said that the body of Krishna is like the kingdom of not sweetness, not Maduram, but Maduram. Sweetness. But the face of Krishna is like the throne of the emperor ruling over the kingdom of sweetness. So that is Maduram, Badanam. His face is Maduram. 3 times. Madhu Gandhi Mridusmitam Etadaho. But the smile of Krishna is like the emperor sitting on the throne of his face, ruling over the kingdom of sweetness. So the smile of Krishna is Maduram. There are no words. Why is he smiling? Smiling is one anubhav, it's a reaction to a feeling in the heart. So when Krishna realizes, oh, the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj loves me. Oh, and this smile removes all the suffering of the whole universe. Tirachara Brijanagna Susmita Sri Mukena Brajapura Banitanam Bharyan Kamadevam. Braja means Braja.
Braja significa Braja.
Actually, Braja in Sanskrit also means moving. Everything is always moving. Pura means, actually it's a village, but it becomes like opulent, like a city when Krishna is there. Brajapura Vanitanam. Vanita means all the beautiful young girls. Vanita means beautiful young girls. Lalita, Vishaka, Jita, Tapaklata. Radhika, of course, and the other groups, I will not say their names. So Vardayan means increasing. Kamadevam. Kam, here, generally Kam means lust. So Kamadev means Cupid. Cupid who has his flower arrows and is shooting everyone in the heart and making them become lusty and attracted to each other. But in relation to Vrindavana Aprakrita Navinamadan, to transcendental Vrindavan, Kam means Prem, love. Love means Atmentriya pratibancha taribalikam, Krishnendiya priti icha dari Prem nam. The desire to serve your own senses is called kam or lust. But the desire to please the senses of Krishna is called Prem. So in Braja, everyone's heart is just full of Prem. And every second, with all their pran, with all their senses, they're just thinking how to please Krishna. But especially Braja Gopis. They have mahabhava. The speciality of mahabhava is this. Varamrita swarupa sri swam swarupam manonayat. Bhakti is the vritti of Sambit and Hladini. When this bhakti shakti is moving in the heart, then one is inspired to serve Krishna. But when the gopis come in the stage of mahabhava, then this devotion becomes so intense, it takes over their entire mind. If there's nothing in their mind except for this, the Sambit and Hladini vritti. That is why they said that Mohadhyabhavepi atmahadi sarvam visritam sada means that Mother Yashoda loves Krishna. But she always knows I am his mother. I am Yashoda, the wife of Nanda Maharaj. The cowherd boys know, oh, I am Stoka Krishna, I am Vishal, I am Balabhadra. They know I am Krishna's friend. But when Mahabhav comes, it completely takes over the mind, and the mind becomes fully of the nature of Mahabhav itself. Then the gopis, just like if you faint, then you don't remember anything. So the gopis, when they have not fainted, even when they're awake, when this Mahabhav appears, they cannot remember who am I, where am I, anything. What am I supposed to do? With whom am I related? What will happen in this life or the next life? Everything. But the only feeling is how to please Krishna. They cannot think that, oh, if I leave my home, then my mother-in-law, my family members, they'll all reject me. When Mahabhav comes, they don't even, who is me? I don't know. Just Krishna should be happy. So what happens is, then the pran in the chitta, in the minds of Braj Gopis, overflows. That is, the Mahabhav overflows into all their prans, all their senses. And then their entire bodies become of the same nature as Mahabhav. And so then Krishna, he's not interested in sense gratification. Krishna only wants to taste the love in your heart. But now the gopis have become all heart. And so that is called the Sundaras, amorous pastimes. You see, it's not what you think it is. I'm trying to, it's very difficult to explain. But it's not what you think it is. The spiritual body is made of Sandhini Shakti. And if someone has bhakti, then Sambit and Hladini is moving in it. For gopis, their entire body has become completely one with the Sambit and Hladini, and therefore they are called the Mahabhav Swarupa. Radharani is Mahabhav Swarupa and the gopis are the expansion. So Krishna is not a kami, he is not lusty. Krishna is not a sense enjoyer. Krishna is premi. He only wants to taste prem. But the thing is, only the gopis of Braj in the stage of Mahabhav, they're actually made of prem. And that's why Krishna wants to meet with them very closely. So here, Susmitasmi Mukina Brajapurapanitana Bhagyan Kamadevam. Gopis may be in the stage of Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, they may be in the stage of Anurag, but when Krishna smiles, Vadyan Kamadevam, and they become the Mahabhav Swarups. Then the Jayarata Madhava Kunj Bihari. Actually, with the mature mind, you cannot think of it or conceive of it, and don't even try. These beautiful, loving pastimes of Krishna and the gopis, you give pranam from very far away, bow down again and again. Like Uddhav, Bande Nanda Brajay Strinam, Padarenam Abhikshnasa, Yasam Harikatud Gitam, Punati Bhuvanatrayam. Uddhav said, I bow down. He was pointing towards the gopis from far away and his finger was trembling. Bande Nanda Brajay Strinam. I bow down to just one dust on the feet of these gopis forever and ever and pray to that dust. Try to have this mood. Don't try to trespass in that realm by force, by mind. If you chant Harinam and serve Gurudeva, after some time the heart will become clean and now Prabhu will reveal all the beautiful pastimes. I'm promising, I'm taking a sankalpa, throw it on the ground. Follow what I'm saying and you will realize all these things. Don't try to enter by prakrit mind. That is called prakrita sadhya. When you try to enter by the force of your own material components. Bow down and cry from very far away for the mercy. And serve Gurudeva and serve Harinam. And their mercy will come and take you where you cannot even imagine. So stira chara bhajanagana susmita simukena brajapura bhanitanam vadyan kamadeva. Here Kamdev means also that Krishna's smile is increasing the influence of Cupid on Braj Gopis. And then when Krishna sees those Braj Gopis, then the influence of Cupid is increased on Krishna also. If Radhika is in Man and she runs away from Krishna, and Krishna is looking everywhere but cannot find her, then Krishna is suffering so much. I will die. Shamyatam na param kadapi tavedasham na karumumi Dehi sundari darshana mama manmatena dunumi. Sri Krishna cries alone in the forest. Shamyatam na param. Oh Sundari, oh beautiful Radhika, please forgive me. Oh, holding my ears and sitting up and down. I promise, I'll never do that. I'll never misbehave again. Dehi Sundari Darshana Mama. Oh Sundari, please give me your darshan. Otherwise I may die. Manmatena Dunomi. Because this Cupid is flying around with these arrows of flowers and shooting me. So Radhika is shot by the arrows of Cupid and makes her attached to Krishna, and Krishna is shot by arrows of Cupid attached to Radhika. So Krishna, Susmita Srimukena, by his smile, he also increased the calm of Kubja.
Quindi Krishna lui con il suo sorriso aumenta anche il calma di Kubja.
But her calm is not like Gopi's calm. She doesn't have any mahabhava. She wants to please Krishna, but she has swasuk, her own. She wants to enjoy herself also. So that's called sadanirati. So there's really, those who are rasik, they know that there's no real taste of Sringar Rasa for Krishna outside of Vrindavana. Kubja in Mathura, Rukmini Satyabhama in Dwarka, none of them have even a smell of mahabhava. In Braj Bhasa it says, Prem jo kahe tamans purati, kam katarati rang, anga anga pe vyapata rahe, tako kahata anang. The meaning is this: when love is living in the heart, it's called Prem. And when that Prem comes out and completely pervades every pore of the skin on the whole body, and manifests as embracing and so on. Tako kohata anang, then it's called ananga. Ananga. Kamdev, Pushpavan, Cupid has manifested. So that level of love is not in Mathurapuri or in Dwarkapuri. But still, Krishna by his smile also awakens their attraction. So here, we explained Brajapura Vanitanam, how Krishna increases the love of the Vanita, the beautiful young gopis of Brajapura. Now we explained how Krishna's smile increases the attraction of Kubja in Mathurapuri and the queens of Dwarka in Dwarkapuri. So that's the second thing. Instead of being Brajapura Vanita, the young girls of Brajapur, now it becomes Braja and Pura and Vanita. The beautiful girls of Braja and of Pura, Dwarkapuri, Mathurapuri. Understand? Sanskrit is like this, it has not only one meaning. So in this phrase, Vrajapura Banita. Banita means beautiful young ladies. And Brajapur means Braj, the city of, the village of Braja. Vrishabhanupur, Varsana, Nandagaon, Yavat, Brajapur. One meaning. Okay, now instead of breaking Brajapur and Banita, we're going to break it into three parts. Braja, Pura and Banita. So now it means the beautiful girls of Braj, that is the Gopis, and the beautiful girls of the, but not as beautiful as Gopis, of Pur, Mathurapuri and Dwarkapuri. Now we're going to break it in another way. Braja, Pura, Banita. Understand? So there are three ways. There was Brajapura and Banita, then Braja, Pura and Banita. Now the third way, Braja, Pura, Banita. What does that mean? When Radhika, she heard the news that if any young girl will bring some ghee to the yagya of Bhaguri Rishi at Govinda Kund, then all her dreams will become true, all her desires will be fulfilled by the blessings of the Brahmanas at the yagya in Govinda Kund. Therefore, though Radhika has many servants, maidservants who can carry the ghee to the yagya, but Radharani is taking the pot of ghee on her own head and going then to Govardhan to take the ghee there. Why? Why? She's very slender and she's very tender. And why is she carrying this heavy pot on her head? Because she's meditating. Oh, if I give this ghee in the yagya, all my dreams will become true. I can meet with Krishna. But Radhika is so cunning, so clever. She's thinking, but if I walk past the Govardhan, past Manasi Ganga, and going in that direction, then one notorious boy, he may come and make some trouble for me. And if that would happen, then and I get into some conversation with him, then I'll be late for the yagya. Then I won't get the blessings. So Radhika was so intelligent that she gave some pots of ghee to her maidservants and they set out early to go ahead first. So if she gets stopped by Krishna along the way and she's late, it won't make the yagya late because they always have some ghee to get it started. And she'll arrive later so they can continue. So Radhika was coming there carrying the ghee and walking with her sakhis. Krishna and Madhu Mangal and Subha were on the top of Govardhan and they saw, oh, Lord, Radharani is coming in the distance. So then Sri Krishna, he decided, oh, let's block the road here and ask for a tax. Toll tax. Everywhere you go in India, someone will stop you. No, you have to pay. So then Sri Krishna came, dressed as the toll tax attendant, the officer, and stopped Radhika. And when Sri Krishna tried to touch Radhika, then she how dare you? We are very pious and religious girls. But if only the air that touched your body will touch this ghee, it will be spoiled. So when Sri Krishna tries to touch Radhika and she's trying to get away from him, then Radhika manifests one Bhavalankar, ecstatic emotional ornament called Kilakinchit Bhav. Garva, Abhilasa, Rudita, Smita, Suya Bhaya Kudam, Sankari Karashama Shamu Chite Kilakinchitam. Kilakinchit Bhav, actually, Kilakinchit means like a bouquet. Someone makes an arrangement of flowers. There's so many different flowers all together and it makes one beautiful vision. So in the same way, when Krishna tries to touch Radhika, then Radhika, she has 7 emotions all at the same time. First, Garva. Garva means pride. So she's arguing with Krishna. Krishna said, I am the authority here. Radharani said, no, I am Vrindavaneshwari. Garva, Abhilas. Abhilas means she has so many desires. Why is she carrying the pot in the first place? Abhilas. Garva, Abhilas or Mudita means crying. Smita, the eyes are crying but the mouth is smiling. That means Radharani's eyelashes are very, very thick and black. And as she's pulling away from Krishna, her mouth is smiling and she squints her eyes and the ecstatic drops of teardrops are coming in between the eyelashes. Smita Asuya means hostility. She's showing hostility to Krishna. Bhai means fear. We're in a public place, someone may see us. Kudam means she shows anger. Sankari Karanam Harsham, and she shrinks away from Krishna. But the base of this entire ecstasy is harsha, that is jubilation, joy. So Kila Kinchit Bhav is like a bouquet of 7 emotions, all manifest at the same time. Sri Swarup Damodar Swami Padi said, Ei Baba Yukta Deke Radhasya Nayan Sangamahite Sukh Pai Koti Gun. When Sri Krishna sees the face of Srimati Radharani light up with Kila Kinchit Bhav, then he experiences 10 million times more happiness than direct union with her. And when Krishna sees this, then he smiles. So Suksmita Sri Mukhena Brajapura Banitanam Bhadyan Kamadevam. There's one type of sweet. It's called pur. And the outer covering of the sweet is made from rice flour. It's very simple. But inside there's some sugar candy, elaichi, cardamom, and some black pepper, some camphor, and so many different spices and flavors inside. So on the outside it's very simple, but on the inside there are many different flavors. So if someone sees this sweet called pur, then it looks very simple, but when they taste it, it's astonishing. So here now the meaning comes, not Braja Pura Banita, not Braja and Pura and Banita, but Braja Pura Banita. Means the young gopis of Braja like Radhika, they like that sweet. Very simple on the outside, they're gopis, they're not the princesses of the Dwarka. Very simple cowherd girls on the outside, but when Krishna tastes the Braja gopis, then there's so many flavors there. Gila Kinchit Bhav. So Pura Manita means the gopis are like that sweet. So Susmita Sri Mukhena Brajapura Banitanam Vadyan Kamadevam. That's another meaning, one more. By mentioning pur here, it gives a hint of the ladies of Mathura. In other words, Krishna was in Vrindavan and he relished the astonishing love of all Braj Gopis, especially Radhika. But then Sri Krishna went to Mathura. And when Sri Krishna was in Mathura, then Vadyan Kamadevam, the calm of Braj Gopis was increased and increased, because in separation increases the Prem. Na vi pralambena sambhoga pushtimashtute. Without separation, then the joy of meeting cannot be increased to the highest point. So Prem is the Rag is a Premamayi Trishna. Rag is a loving thirst. So when Sri Krishna left Vrindavan, now gopis, their loving thirst is increased and increased to the highest point. Srimati Radhika becomes mad. She starts quarreling with a bumblebee. And you friend of a cheetah. But in the end, she said to that bumblebee, Bhuju Maguru Sugandam Murjadas Kadanu. Means, oh bumblebee, will Krishna come back to Vrindavan? And will Krishna place his hand, which is fragrant with agur, upon my head and bless me? Oh Radhika, I went all over the world. I met with so many beautiful girls, the daughters of human beings, kings, demigods, nagas, everyone. But nowhere in the universe could I find anyone like you, so now I've come back to Vrindavan, I'll never leave you again. Will Krishna say this to me? Radhika said to the bumblebee. And as her calm, her desire to serve Krishna came to the highest point, then she had a spurti and she saw that Krishna was coming. Stira Chara Brajinagna Susmita Shrimukena, and by his beautiful smile he took away all the suffering of all the moving and non-moving living entities in Vrindavan. Pratapura Varitanam Varyan Kamini. So in this way, Shukadeva Goswami has put all the nectar of Krishna's pastimes of the 10th canto in the palm of his hand, like Achaman tasted in this one verse. So before dancing at Rath Yatra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming before Lord Jagannath with folded hands and then singing this. So what happened next? We'll explain it. To get everyone ready for Rath Yatra festival on Saturday. Nitai